Kurtzman, decided by the U.S. Supreme Court. It is not binding because it is an American case, but it is authoritative in our jurisdiction until our own Philippine Supreme Court makes a pronouncement on the same subject matter, which differs in substance. In Lemon, the court said that in determining whether a law involves excessive entanglement between government and religion, we must conduct the following analysis. Number one, consider the nature of the institution that received the benefit from the government. Number two, consider the nature of the aid that the government gave to the bishops. Number three, consider the resulting relationship between the government and the bishops. I humbly submit that the donations passed this threefold legal test under existing jurisprudence. However, during the hearing, PCSO management apparently admitted that it has not given similar donations to any other religion. If that is so, then PCSO management appears to be giving preference to the Catholic religion, and that, in my mind, would be a violation of the Establishment Clause. But here again, there is no liability on the part of the recipients or of the bishops. That would be the liability of the management, if it can be proved. Mr. Chairman, I am finished with the constitutional issue. Please allow me just 5 more minutes to make this announcement. I am chair of the Senate Committee, as the chairperson noted, Committee on Constitutional Amendments, Revision of Laws and Codes. In effect, the Senate Committee on Revision of Laws. I shall call a public hearing this August on a new PCSO charter, as well as a new PAGCOR charter. Both the PCSO and PAGCOR funds constitute the President's Social Fund, which has served as a black budget. Itim na listahan ng tinatanggap na pera at ginagastos na pera ng ating gobyerno. Tinatawag na black budget, itim na budget. Because it is a budget insulated from public scrutiny. Yun ang problema dito eh. Ang tagal-tagal na nitong mga ahensya na ito, wala rin lang nakapag-isip doon sa mga marurunong na mga opisyal ng ating gobyerno na dapat itong mga ito ay magbigay ng kasulatan nila, mga regulasyon nila, paano ka kumuha ng pera. Sila lang, ang desisyon, sila lang, and they're not elected by the people. Their budget is confined to the dark and insulated from sunshine, sneak through the back door, instead of undergoing the open process of congressional budgetary authorization. Sa Senado, magdidiscuss na naman tayo ng budget for next year. After so ng July 25, President Aquino will submit his budget to the House and the Senate. Hala, away ng away, maraming sagutan tungkol sa gagastusin. Pero itong mga ito, itong pera ng PAGCOR at ng PCSO, hindi pinag-uusapan sa publiko. Hindi sinusulat o report, binabalita ng media. Sila lang ang gumagawa. Ba't walang nakapag-isip na presidente niyan ng Pilipinas? At ba't walang chairperson ng PCSO, ng PAGCOR, nag-isip niyan? Tumigil na nga kayo. Under existing law, PCSO generates revenues from the sales of sweepstakes and lotto tickets. The resulting revenues are allocated as follows: 55% to the prize fund, 30% to the charity fund, 15% to the operating fund. The charity fund and the operating fund, or in other words, 45% of the revenues, are allocated by the PCSO board, apparently with the approval of the President. According to the 2009 COA report, the total deposits to the bank's current account for the 3 funds in 2008 were in the aggregate amount of 7.6 billion pesos. B, as in Bulaga talaga.
Mr. Chair, may I request the
Senator Enrile.
distinguished member to finish because time is very important for us.
Yes, sir, I will obey you immediately. I have only 2 more pages left. To give to the PCSO board the power to allocate the galactic sum of 20 billion pesos a year. 20 billion pesos, isang taon, yun ang hawak nilang pera, is to excavate a yawning democratic deficit. The present situation is feudal and contrary to best international practice. The best practice is the one fund concept, under which all government revenues are transmitted to the Treasury and disbursed only as authorized by Congress. there should be no President Social Fund because the entire government budget is already the President's budget. That is why media sometimes call it the President's budget. The new law, in my contemplation, will repeal not only the PCSO Charter, but also all the various Republic Acts that seek to allocate certain PSO funds to alphabet soup national programs. The new law will limit the PCSO board only to the function of regulating and supervising sweepstakes and lotto operations. Sige, tingnan natin kung meron pang may gustong pumunta sa charity sweepstakes. Kasi ngayon, pinag-awayan yung pwesto na yan eh. O di, magbantay sila ng makabayo doon. The entire revenues for the year will be remitted to the National Treasury. Only the President and Congress will prioritize and allocate the fund, except that 5% of the Lotto earnings shall be given to local government units and only 10% shall be allocated for administrative expenses. Biro mo yon? Sa 20 billion na kinikita mo, 10% pa lang nun, 2 billion na. The PSO bureaucracy shall be slashed, their allowances and privileges abolished, and the public relations budget removed. And while this process of building on the ashes takes place, I respectfully move that this Blue Ribbon Committee should immediately recommend to the Ombudsman the criminal prosecution of all PCSO officials responsible for depositing 2008 with a private commercial bank, ang swerte nitong bangko na ito, the sum of 1.5 billion pesos without the prior approval of the Department of Finance as required under DOF Order number 2705. By the process of lateral thinking, I respectfully move to investigate the source of the false report about the so-called, quote, Pajero bishops, unquote, when it turns out that no Pajeros were involved. Sino ang invento niyan? Bukang bibig na ngayon yung Pajero bishops, wala palang Pajero. Who is this maleficent, twisted genius? Was this media spin designed to cover up the crime of depositing without authorization in a private bank the sum of 1.5 billion pesos? Was this media spin further designed to call public attention away from the annual sum of some 20 billion pesos made available to the sticky fingers of the PCSO board? Like the wanton world-class theft of public funds and conspicuous consumption generated by the road users tax, the PCSO anomaly is bodaciously corrupt. Keep the bishops out of it. That is the end. As directed, I terminate whatever it is I have to say because I'm allegedly using up the time of my colleagues. They're entitled to their time, so I'm entitled to walk out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Please, a few house rules. This is a very charged issue. Please refrain from clapping, cheering, and jeering. And also, please, cell phones, put your cell phones on silent. Okay, we've come here to listen, and therefore, I understand Your Excellencies have an opening statement. Is there anyone who wants to read the statement?
Yes, Your Honors. I wish to first read into the record, if permitted, the pastoral letter.
Your Excellency, forgive me for interrupting, but one last administrative matter. All those who are here today who have been invited and who have not taken their oath, please stand to take your oath. Committee Secretary, please administer the oath.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? Kindly nod if you say I do. Thank you.
Okay. Your Excellency, please proceed.